Suppose you have a vector given by its components, ax equals 3 and ay equals 1. If you want to find the magnitude and direction of this vector, then you can continue to use trig. The magnitude of the vector is essentially just the hypotenuse, and the angle is the same as the standard angle that you'd find in trig. So to find the length of the hypotenuse, i.e. the magnitude of the vector, we use the Pythagorean theorem. We find the square root of ax squared plus ay squared is equal to the square root of 3 squared plus 1 squared, square root of 10, which is about 3.18, which didn't make it on my screen. To find the angle, we need the arctangent of the ratio of the y component and the x component. In this case, that's equal to the arctangent of 1/3, which our calculator reveals is equal to 18.4 degrees. But watch out! When you take the arctangent, it's always going to give you an answer between negative 90 degrees and 90 degrees, either the fourth quadrant or the first quadrant. Now that answer was in the first quadrant, but not all vectors are going to be. Let's see an example. So suppose we have a vector that has components -3, -1. It's just like our old vector, but pointing in the opposite direction. Well, if we calculate its magnitude, of course it's going to end up being the same. But when we calculate the direction, when we do the inverse tangent, we find that we still get 18.4 from our calculator. But that's the wrong way, right? Well, the arctangent's always either going to give you the correct answer or an answer that's off by 180 degrees. And it's up to you to determine which is the case. Now you try. Here's a vector. Find the magnitude and the direction. The answer's in 3, 2, 1. Well, to find the magnitude, we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem. We can see that the components are -5 for the x component and 2 for the y component. So when we add -5 squared plus 2 squared and take the square root, we get 5.4. To find the direction, we're going to take the arctangent of the y component divided by the x component. So that's the arctangent of 2 over -5. And we find from our calculator that we get -21.8 degrees. Well, that, being a negative number, is clockwise from the x-axis. That's in the fourth quadrant. Is that the right way? No, it's not. So we add 180 degrees, and we get 158.2 degrees.